Hey, what's going on guys? Migzuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a Grixis Giants deck for standard best of one. Now, Giants is a tribe that I've been wanting to play for a while, but I could never settle on exactly how I wanted to do it. I've decided to go with Grixis because a lot of the Giant stuff that I deem the most powerful, because a lot of it just is frankly bad, is as powerful, or quote as powerful, because it's still not even that great, well, as it is because of its graveyard abilities. So basically, I think that, obviously Crocs is probably our most powerful giant, but it has no giant synergy other than actually being a giant. But to play well with that graveyard Croxa red-black theme, we also have Glimpse, which is a really good incentive to be in blue. And Glimpse says you can look at the top three cards of your library, put one of them in your hand and the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. So basically anticipate. I know there's another 2-mana blue card that does this, but basically anticipate at sorcery speed. But it also has this text that as long as you control a giant, you may cast Glimpse from your graveyard by paying 1 blue rather than paying its mana cost, and then you exile it. Right, so basically this card pays you off for it being in the graveyard, along with Croxa. And the third sort of graveyard giant payoff is Quakebringer. So 5 mana, 5/4, your opponent can't gain life. Your opponents can't gain life, which is not a bad ability. There's a bit of life gain in standard right now. It kind of hoses the mono-white life gain decks, so it's pretty cool. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, Quakebringer deals 2 damage to each opponent. This ability triggers only if Quakebringer is on the battlefield or if Quakebringer is in your graveyard and you control a giant. So this also pays us off for it being in the graveyard. I don't necessarily want to be casting Quakebringers on turn 5 very often, but it can be really useful to just slowly ticket your opponent's health away in the yard. Aside from that, we have a couple subsections of the deck. We'll go over the first one, which is just giants, right? Like the actual creatures. Well, there's Croxa, Bone Crusher Giant, which is fairly obvious, right? It's probably the other very good giant in standard, like arguably the best one, but it's either between Croxa or Bone Crusher. Regardless, you have the Stomp and you have the 4/3 giant on the other half. Then at 4 mana, we have only one Calamity Bear. I looked at a bunch of lists online before, actually finalizing a build, and a lot of them run a lot of Calamity Bears, like most of them run 4. I can see the value in that, making Croxa basically burn 6 life, your Bone Crushers deal 4 damage, every creature you battle with or fight with deals more damage, Quakebringer deals more damage, it deals 4 in the yard, but I think this is sort of a win more card, and it's very easy to remove and gets no value. So while I do see its power, I don't think it's good enough to run 4 copies of. A card that, again, still doesn't get that much value until it gets attacked or becomes the target of a spell is Tectonic Giant. I think this card is infinitely better than Calamity Bear. It has the same stat line, but doesn't double the damage. Basically, like I said, when it attacks or becomes a target of a spell an opponent controls, which is important, you can either deal 3 damage to each opponent, which can essentially come in handy and kill them, but I'm more interested in the other ability, which is exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them until the end of turn, you may play that card. So this can help you hit your land drop, it can help you find removal, it can help you find more combo pieces, card draw and glimpse, that type of thing. I am a pretty big fan of Tectonic Giant. It's also a good blocker. I think it's one of the better non-Kaldheim giants. And so that's it for the giants. I mean, there's also Quakebringer, but we covered that. So then we have quote-unquote giant payoffs. I covered Glimpse, which is the one I'm the most interested in. Invasion. I like Invasion a lot, but it is pretty slow. So you get to scry 2, then you get to draw a card, and if you reveal a giant, you get to burn your opponent for 2. Then you get a discount on your next giant. So if you can get all of this stuff, the card is very good, but it is very slow. And in best of one, there's a lot of aggression, so I don't think we can always take turn 2 off to Invasion of the Giants. Also, the mana is tricky in Grixis. We don't always have exactly blue and red untapped on turn 2, so that's just something to keep in mind. It's one of our heavier mana requirement cards in the deck. And the other non-creature giant payoff is Battle of Frost and Fire. We are a mid-range deck at the end of the day. We're not super aggressive, we're not super controlling, and this is a pretty good saga to pay that off. So we basically wipe the board, or we try to wipe the board. We do 4 damage to each non-giant creature or planeswalker. Then we scry 3, which is sort of whatever. Then whenever we cast the spell, it's CMC 5 or greater, we draw 2, ditch 1. We only have one spell at CMC 5 or greater. This is more of like a board wipe and kind of getting through our library. Maybe we can find a Quakebringer. I'm not a crazy fan of Frost and Fire, but I can see how it can have its moments. I might cut this down to 1 or even completely from the deck as I test it out. And the last section of cards I want to cover, or actually there's technically 2 more, but we'll group this all in one. Basically, Mire Triton and Timarith are there to enable all the graveyard synergies and pay us off for Kroxa and Glimpse and Quakebringer, and interaction in the form of Heartless Act and Dispute. I want a way to be able to deal with ultimatums, and I don't think running hard counters like Negate or Saw It Coming are very good in this style of deck, but having 1 mana open for Dispute can be very relevant. And yeah, if you're more worried about it, this can be a harder counter, but I think Dispute's actually the right call for the deck. Also, Heartless Act, just kill your thing. For cheaper things, we do have Bone Crusher Giant. Normally, I prefer a 2-2 split between Heartless Act and Eliminate, but Bone Crusher Giant sort of fills that slot. Mana base is slanted towards red-black, right? We have the most red costs in the deck, and we also want to cast Kroxa on 4, or at least have the ability to. So we slightly lean towards that. We have all the temples that have red on it, all the pathways, and our basics are slightly lean towards red and black. No room for Fabled Passage or Castles because they will slow the mana down, and the mana is already slow as it is with 8 temples. So that's it for the list, guys. Hopefully we can make Giants not completely suck in Standard. Deck list will be in the description down below as always. If you like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing. It motivates me to make more content. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Let's get into some games. Okay, yeah, hand does the stuff. No temple, so we have to just start out on basic land, which kind of sucks because the temples are a huge reason that the mana is workable. Okay, this could be rogues. Interesting. Let's pass priority. Nice Thieves Guild Enforcer, mate. So we put this on red and then try to stomp it. Sure. Yeah. All right. Well, at least we have Kroxas in this matchup. Let's take this out. I don't want them flashing in a rogue in response. Yeah, there's the Kroxas we're looking for. Okay, so what I'm really concerned about now is mana. So what's the play? We could just slam Bone Crusher Giant, which I don't even hate. We can mill ourselves some more with the Timarith Calls the Dead, but I don't love that. They're going to fill our own yard for us anyways. So I think we put this on black and go for the Bone Crusher Giant. We play it on black instead of blue because we technically have the other blue source in our hand. But I do need double black. Opponent plays a Thought Thief, that's to be expected. I wonder if they run Clings. Also, Quakebringer in the hand. A little bit awkward, but it's okay. We will get to the goods at some point. And there's a Thought Thief, so we're going to get double milled here. Really banking on drawing this red source. There goes 1 red source. There's a Quakebringer. Nice. Shoot you for 2. Okay. Let's attack. I wish I had the untapped land, but the untapped red source, but we don't. So we're gonna dig for it with Glimpse. Red source, no red source. I can grab another Glimpse. All these cards are blue, which is awkward because we're super bottlenecked on blue mana. I think it is the battle though. It can potentially board wipe my opponent here. And we'll see if they want to fight over the Heartless Act, because if they counter it and we draw land, then we can battle Frost and Fire, and that's pretty good. Into the Story is technically turned on. Yeah, we do this pre-combat to stop the milling. Opponent lets it go, smart. So either they do have counter spells here, or they're holding up Into the Story. Oh, there's my mountain. All right, feels bad. I can also Glimpse for another land, which if we hit untapped red off the Glimpse, that would be really good. Opponent might take out this Bone Crusher Giant right now, because we do need it to stick around to be able to do this. Crippling Fear, okay. That's actually fine. That means they completely tap out. And we do find the red source, albeit tapped. All right. So not ideal, but it'll do. I guess land is sort of, it's going to get milled anyways. So I guess it's whatever. We're going to play out a Triton to get on the board a little bit. And I should have actually done the Scryland first. And we're going to foretell a Quakebringer to actually use our mana. I think all of that's better than just playing Timuret Calls the Dead. So these Croxes look really menacing. And if they do have a Cling to Dust, they cannot flash it back. All right, opponent mills another Glimpse, which is really good. Let's attack first. Death Touch might matter. Okay. And we reanimate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're not Lurrus. Oh, they actually might be Lurrus rogues. Hold on then. Hold on. So we leave this in the yard because we actually might need it. Take this out. Take this out. Timuret Calls the Dead. So we leave Glimpse, other Croxa, Quakebringer, Glimpse. All right, perfect. Sure. We'll just make sure. Yeah, we're good. Okay. They could be Zareth rogues because they have no Lurrus, which is why we do this now. Nice. All right, the Glimpses turn on, but I don't know how long this Crox is going to stick around for. They might be bottlenecked on removal, or at least good targeted removal because of the Crippling Fear, taking out the Bone Crusher Giant the other turn. If they had a more mana efficient way to deal with it, I'm sure we would have seen it. And they take 3 for that. Nice. And we'll Glimpse. More land tech. I think we have enough creatures. We have Croxes. We have Quakebringer. Honestly, well, it could just be other Crocs, but we have another one in the yard. I think we just grab land. Hit our land drop, Glimpse again. And now we try to find more removal or more counter magic, like the couple disputes we have. Do we see a counter now? That would be weird. We see removal now because they're targeting the Croxa. No, we see a bounce spell. Sure. We got to resolve double Glimpse though, so I don't exactly agree with that play pattern. We take the Heartless Act because it's good removal. I can only reanimate one Croxa, or cast one Croxa, because of the steep mana requirements. Island is awkward, but it's okay. It served us well in that spot. I can also just Battle of Frost and fire this board away, which is kind of funny. What's your last card? Into the Story. There's land. You can have the Calamity Bear. God, I feel like it's the worst card on my deck. Okay, they definitely have something. Dispute, that actually might come in so clutch. It's wrong. So we have this, then we have enough mana for the Dispute. If they Into the Story, we can counter it. Okay. They drown, they can pay for it. We can also just reanimate Croxa. Let's attack first. Okay. Hits. I'm just thinking, if they have a Zareth, we counter it. If they have a counter spell, we take another 6 points, which isn't good. But I think it's workable. We can exile how many cards from the grave here? 5. This is the 6th. They'd be able to technically counter the Croxa. They might have another Brazen Borrower. They might have Drowns. There's a lot they could have. I think this is the best play if they don't have Drown in the lock. All right, because of the mana, I think I do go for this Croxa. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess it doesn't really matter. I do want to leave this in the yard though. And we hold open Dispute for a blue spell, which is what I'm really concerned about. If they interact with my Croxa, like with a Heartless Act or something, they take 3 here. But we might just see a Drown. At least we take them off their Lord effect by doing this as well. It's a Shark Typhoon. Are we dead? Okay, opponent has to discard that card though. It's another Shark Typhoon, so we take 1, 7, 8. We take 8 here. If they have Zareth, we die. All right, close game. Definitely a close game. Opponent takes 2. Still no land. We attack. See if we can kill them. Come on. Lots of action. Not a lot of mana. We have Brazen Borrower. That would be fine. The 4/4 Shark is so clutch for the Battle of Frost and Fire. Let's start out the hand a little bit while we wait for the opponent to make a decision. They cycle for another Shark. We still have Heartless Act. So, we attack. It still takes out their last card. Land. And that's game. We take out the blocker and hit them for lethal. Nice. Oh, that's a close match. So, Rakdos probably does better in that spot just because it hoses Rogue so hard, but I guess we show, just rocked out Rakdos mid-range, but we show the power of Kroxa against Rogues once again, and the giant synergies do come in handy. The glimpses were really powerful, as well as, let's say they did have an interactive spell here, we can just Battle of Frost and Fire, reset this whole board, and still hold open Dispute, which isn't a bad spot to be in, especially with Quakebringer in the yard. It'll eventually kill them, or if we can get one more giant on the board. So yeah, pretty happy with this game. Actually, we can just Crocs them again from here. If they block, they would have taken 3. Anyways, yeah, we just absolutely hose this game. Okay, against Yorion, I don't love this hand, but it's like fine. It's like fine. Jesus. I wonder if this is blue-white, but like 90% of the time we're just against Sultai here, which Crocs is good against, but we actually have no way of fueling our Croxa here. Schoolmate. Come on now. Big pile. Big boy decisions. All right. Again, unfortunate starting on just a basic. Yeah, you hover over that. Maybe we're just supposed to be really aggressive. We have a bunch of options. We can Stomp Face. Let's force him to discard. It's not horrible. Yeah. Oh god, we've given them a decision to make on turn 2. After roping me on turns 0 and 1. Okay. They ditch Gargaroth, which is fine. I actually play Gargaroth in my Sultai Ultimatum deck. Ramp, sure. I'm gonna want to cast this. Let's actually get this down on blue because we have absolutely no headway towards casting Kroxa, as in terms of cards in our yard. And we'll just cast the Bone Crusher Giant to keep the pressure up, instead of taking a turn off to like Stomp Face or Foretell the Quakebringer. Okay. Untap land. Alright, tap land is better than no land. Let's attack. Definitely not. And I think here, because we have a board presence, we just pass. Turn 5, or when they have 5 mana, they can play Shadow's Verdict, which can wipe away 2 Bone Crusher Giants for the price of 1 card, which is not something I'm really interested in letting them do. So I think I just hold open Stomp. Try to get a bit more damage in that way. If they target my Bone Crusher Giant, they take 2 extra points. Yeah, and there's the double black. By Yorion, okay. They also didn't use their mana last turn, so we're always happy about that. We Stomp, technically playing around Jwaris, but it's not exactly what I call optimal either. They actually have interaction that they're holding up. So we'll see if they cast a removal spell here. Yep. Take an extra 2. We take those. And they tap out, meaning we don't have to worry about Jwaris. So we play Tectonic Giants. Yeah, that's good. That is good. We definitely need the card advantage. And that's going to give us 2 cards. Tectonic Giant will give us another card. And as we play this sort of pseudo game of attrition, our yard will slowly fill up and then Croxa can come back. I'm just worried about Ultimatum. They have 5 mana. They can, if they play a land out, they'll have 6. There's 6. And there's Yorion. Yorion actually being a surprisingly effective blocker here. Let's Glimpse. And look for like a Heartless Act. Yeah, baby. So we Heartless Act again. Straight target creature with no counters. Yeah, it's you. We can actually Glimpse here and hit them for 6. I think that's the play. Yeah. Let's get you down to 6 life. Glimpse again. All tap lands. Which color do I need more? Probably just Rakdos tap land. And I think I'm good. Are we just going to be blown out to Ultimatum? I mean, it happens, guys. I think we did what we can. What we could have. Opponent's counting their lands. They need another... pretty much anything but green, I think. This is either double blue or double... yeah, there's the blue. Uh-huh. All right, and there's the Ultimatum. So can we win through it? That's the next question. Ultimatum doesn't end the game on the spot, but it feels like it does. So they're at 6. This can guarantee 3 points of damage. This, if they stack the board with like, I don't know, this can take out birds from Ulrun's Epiphany. It can't take out Vorinclex, but I don't know why they would go for a Vorinclex. So what, we put back Valky, and then give them the extra turn as well as Vorinclex and the birds. Yeah, that's fine. Just give them a bunch of board presence. We'll see if you can do anything with it. If they have double Ultimatum, then it is what it is. You just, opponent curved out into Ultimatum. And I'm not dead here, although I am dead to an Epiphany. There's a land, that's fine. Kiora doesn't technically kill me. Is the opponent going to hold back? That'd be freaking funny. I mean, if they hold back, I don't think there's any way they can lose, especially in this spot. I'll draw my card, but I literally can't even attack with the Tectonic Giant here. Well, sometimes you just get games like this, boys. There's a glimpse. So is there any way at all that we survive here? I mean, we can Wrath, that doesn't do anything. We can play Quakebringer, that doesn't do anything. Bone Crusher Giant, I guess, but we're gonna start with this. Croxa, nice. Croxa probably gets pretty close, right? Let's see what's in their hand. If it's just land and this wasn't tapped, then we can squeeze out. Yeah, there's, see? Verdict. Haha, told you. Shadow's verdict. But yeah, we lost this game. We're just dead to the attack back because we couldn't have really done anything. So, I mean, it's going to happen sometimes. We'll just scoop them up. Feels bad. Okay, hand is pretty good against Yorion. Let's see if we can get some revenge. Temple of Mystery. That's not one you see often out of the Yorion decks. So maybe we're on something against something a little bit different. Definitely not. But again, could still be Sultai. It would not surprise me. Maybe just someone wants cleaner mana. There you go. That's the Sultai we all know and love. Valkyrie. Pretty much have to take Bone Crusher here. But Kroxa kind of shreds... well, Valky kind of shreds Kroxa, because if they take it, they can just transform into it. Yeah. And they do. We can't be having that. So this goes here. And we just sort of say end of story. I'm not going to give them the chance to transform into a Kroxa. It's just infinitely not worth it. Cultivate. There's the ramp. There we go. We'll get this down on blue. Get aggressive. And see what we can do. Hopefully we hit another land so we can double spell. Binding, naturally. Naturally. Alright. That's a little slow. I don't hate getting this online. Or getting it in the yard. Double Glimpse isn't bad, but okay, opponent just ditches a land. Okay. Because it's going to... They're going to get a replacement land anyways. They buy Yorion. At least Binding will expire, and we have a Heartless Act for it. Okay, they have Ultimatum mana. So we can play, what, Triton? Probably should have glimpsed first because there was some land there, and we get so punished. We find absolutely no land. Alright, maybe I should have taken Timurat Calls the Dead, but I think hitting their hand is going to be better. I really wanted to glimpse into a land. Oh, Elspeth's Nightmare. Very unfortunate. We really do need untapped land right now so I can reanimate this Kroxa. But at least that means that we don't have to contend with a ultimatum for the moment. Not helping me here. You're not helping me, game. Jesus. Okay. So I really want to find this, what's it called? This land. So maybe we invade. We can just glimpse for it, but I don't want my glimpse to get wiped. God, this is tough. Alright, let's glimpse. Elspeth's Nightmare is brutal. Hey, we find the land. So what do I need? Another, pretty much anything. Double red, double black. We just needed any land pretty much. So we play untap land here into, or tap land into invasion. Or we just make them respect the Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, let's do that. Making you respect my 4/3. And now, see that lag? Jeez. Okay, and now it makes them choose between Heartless Act and Invasion. If they blink the Nightmare, it's not exactly the best. Right now we can cast Kroxa and then glimpse afterwards. Jeez, okay. There's a verdict. Oh, that's That's brutal. Okay. Well, at least we have another Croxa. We didn't play it like a bunch of idiots. And Verdict doesn't wipe the glimpses out, it just wipes all of these creatures. The opponent can play something. Might be a Cultivate, might be an Omen. And they know we can deal with the Yorion because of the Heartless Act. Nightmare will wipe the yard, which is super unfortunate, but hopefully Giant can keep us in the game. Let's go, buddy. Untap land. And they pass. Okay. So I think we actually play this. Well, we can play this on red. Right? So we don't have to give up a mana on a blue source. Play this out. Hold open double blue and glimpse twice before our yard gets wiped. So we grab what? Timmy? To fill the yard some more after this Nightmare goes off. And maybe it is backup Croxa, honestly. Okay, let's be smart about this. We have 6 mana. Next turn, we can actually, if we take the land, we can Timuret, mill 3, and then we can't Croxa because it's not in the yard. I think we do grab another one. Just having the ability to double hand hate them is going to be really important. And okay, so they eat some Croxa food, as well as eating a Croxa, but as far as, as far as Elspeth's Nightmare Chapter 3s go, that wasn't that devastating. And let's see what they choose to do off the Omens. Okay, they still have 7 mana, so Ultimatum is a card. Do they have triple green? Yes, they do. Double black, double blue. Yeah, okay. They can, if they just drew an Ultimatum, they can play it. Event, we actually take those. That's completely fine. That is completely fine. Let's go for the Croxa first. We're a bit lacking on black mana. We'll see what they discard. Wolflow Haven, nice. And let's get rid of your Yorion. They can Scarf the Omen, and I think it's their best bet. Timuret's Call the Dead next turn. And yeah, they probably don't run any more main deck Yorions, so you pretty much pay the mana. Please no Ultimatum. Please no Ultimatum. If we had Dispute here, we'd be laughing. 2 to the bottom. That's what we like to see. So we've grinded our opponent to no cards in hand. They run a mountain. Absolute greed lords. Alright, let's go for this. 2, 3. Free 2/2. Free 2/2. Do it again. Let's do it again. Alright, now we actually need this Croxa. So we're just going to hold 1 in the yard. And we can reanimate it next turn. Fae. The Fae grab. That's a pretty good top deck. Fae grab is what? Tormod's Crypt? It's possible. Sorry, Jesus. My phone just fucking fell. Oh, it's Tormod's Crypt. Okay. Oh, there goes my Croxa. But on the break, they're upkeeping it. Oh yeah, they want me to actually mill these cards. Okay, fair enough. Triton make 2/2. No. Alright, Bone Crusher Giant. I can cast this now. Okay. Opponent messed up. Opponent should have cracked that when they did. We're not going to switch phase because it was give them priority to crack the crypt, which they can do now. But we actually managed to recast our Croxa, which is too funny. Uh-huh. Take 3. You can crack it now, which still sucks. It means the glimpse is not online, sadly. Take 3. I think we hold this. Opponent takes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If they remove anything, I think we, oh man, I think we hold open stomp. I'm going to be kind of greedy here and hope they don't top deck ultimatum. And we did it. Oh, we managed to close. So, despite living in constant fear of Sultai Ultimatum, like the actual card, Emergent Ultimatum, we managed to grind our opponent down to virtually nothing and then take over with our extra card advantage from the Glimpses, the Croxes, and stuff like that. But as you can see, I am freaking scared of the Ultimatum, guys. All right, guys, and we are back. So as far as Giants decks go, I do think this is probably the best one. It's not amazing by any means, but I think it's a valid way to actually play the Giants tribe. So you have your plan, right? And it is very grindy, and you can get a lot of card advantage, but it is slow. So decks that go way over the top, like Sultai Ultimatum, as you guys saw in the games, can punish you really hard. And very aggressive decks that go fast out of the gate can punish you very hard. You do have the tools to deal with those decks, but you need to draw them at the right times, which is why I think this deck might be a bit better in best of 3. So you can lean your interaction to either blue counter magic or black removal and sort of balance it out from there. But yeah, if you're going to play Giants, I do recommend this list. The mana is tricky but workable. Double black, double red on turn 4 is always the hardest thing for me to come by, while also having blue somewhere in the mix for like Glimpse or Invasion on 2. It's a very tricky deck to play, but it's fun and it feels very rewarding once you actually win. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Again, deck list will be in the description down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.